Today we are celebrating the birthday of our founder, Shinran Shonin. So let's say happy birthday to our founder, Shinran Shonin. But before that, do you remember which scroll is Shinran Shonin? No idea? So Shinran Shonin is second from right, okay? Second from right. And he's from the 13th century. And he studied Buddhism since he was 9 years old and continued to study until he passed away at the age of 90 years old. Amazing, isn't it? He started study at the age of 9 and studied until 90, right? And we are here today because of his efforts to spread the teaching. So let's say happy birthday, Shinran Shonin. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Shinran Shonin. Yeah, thank you. So, one of the teachings Shinran Shonin teaches us is the importance of respecting others. Okay, we may have differences, but everyone have same value of life, and from the view of Amida Buddha, everyone is just like a precious treasure. So respecting each other is really important teaching. And today, as you see, I would like to share one of the episodes of Amidaman. And for those who are new to Amidaman, this is a character created by Amidaman Plans Board in 1990s. And this is a character my cousins, Tomoyuki and Saori, was involved in the board. And actually, the one who drew the character was my cousin, Saori. So anyway, here we go. Animal School Entrance Ceremony. Good morning. Please introduce yourself. Hi, I'm Inuda. I'm good at running. Hey, I'm Toriyama. I can fly freely, man. I am Ozumi. Swimming is my thing. I am better than anyone here. Uh-oh. Blue color emits blue light, so everyone is different, and that's good. Rainbow flower. Running, flying, swimming. Everyone is amazing in each way. Oh, I see. Right? To be continued. So as I mentioned, we have so many differences, right? But each individuals are just like precious treasures. So please respect each other. Respect each other means not forcing one's idea to others, but it is to have the ears to listen. So through learning Buddhism, please nurture the ear to listen to others' opinion carefully, and nurture the mind of respect and compassion among each other, okay? So let's conclude today's Dharma School talk with Gassho and Nembutsu. So please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda. And now I would like to share Shinran Shonin's words from his master work, Jodo Shinshu. So please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together again. おおよそ大神会を案ずれば、貴賤思想を選ばず、難行老少を言わず、増財の多少を問わず、修行の苦言を論ぜず、行儀あらず、善儀あらず、ただこれ不可思議不可笑不可説の信行なり、 例えば、赤田薬のよく一切の毒を滅するがごとし、如来誓願の薬はよく治具の毒を滅するなりと。In reflecting on the ocean of great Shinjin, I realized that there is no discrimination between noble and humble, or black-robed monks and white-clothed lady. No differentiation between man and woman, old and young. The amount of evil one has committed is not considered. The duration of any performance of religious practices is of no concern. It is simply Shinjin that is inconceivable, inexplicable, and indescribable. It is like the medicine that eradicates all poisons. The medicine of the Tathagata's vow destroys the poisons of our wisdom and foolishness. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. So, as I mentioned in the Dharma school talk, we are celebrating the birthday of our founder, Shinran Shonin. By the way, I didn't notice this, but when I was talking with one of the ministers, he said, some people misunderstand that Shinran Shonin is full name of Shinran. So some people think that Shonin is also the part of the name. But it might be true, right? So to clarify, Shonin, oops, I didn't have it. Oh, too bad. Shonin, the word Shonin is honorifics, meaning venerable master. And we are showing our respect by calling Shinran Shonin. And, I hesitate to just call him Shinran. So I say Shinran Shonin. But some people call Shinran. And, and Shonin is not his name. Okay? And he was born in Kyoto, Japan in 13th century. And now, I don't know how many people watches Japanese TV dramas, but Japanese national TV station called NHK is showing the year-long TV drama regarding the 13th century samurais. And Shinran Shonin and his teacher, Honen Shonin, lived around the same time as the drama. So when I watched the drama, I checked the year of the event and imagined what Shinran Shonin or Honen Shonin was doing. A few weeks ago, one of the powerful clan, Taira, was defeated by Minamoto clan at Dannoura Bay. And I think it's better to have the map here. And there was a battle between Taira and Minamoto at Dannoura Bay, and it was 1185. So Shinran Shonin was 12 or 13 years old. And that means he was studying and practicing at Enryakuji Temple in Mount Hiei, which is in Kyoto. And, when we go to Japan next year for the temple tour or temple Japan tour, we will pass close by the Dannoura Bay by the bullet train. But, Taira clan was so powerful that their defeat was probably accepted by surprise and shock by many people. And I am sure that Shinran Shonin heard the news when he was in Mount Hiei. And Shinran Shonin's teacher, Honen Shonin, established his Sangha of Nembutsu followers in the city of Kyoto in 1175. So, I wonder what the city of Kyoto was like to experience the big change from the time of aristocrats to samurais. So, I love imagining these kind of things while watching the drama. And I wonder if Honen Shonin or Shinran Shonin appear in the drama in the future, but I'm not sure yet. But, since we have the map of Japan here, Kyoto is where Shinran Shonin was born and where he passed. And our head temple, Nishi Hongwanji, is in Kyoto. But because Shinran Shonin was exiled to Echigo in 1207 and traveled to Kanto region to share his teachings, there were many followers of Shinran Shonin in Kanto region, which is circled with yellow. last week I talked about the history of translation, and I introduced the word of Shinran Shonin from News to Nimonge, hymns of the two gateways of entrance and emergence. And this writing was written when he was around 80 years old. And I said he started to use the newer Chinese translation around that time in his writings. And I might have talked about this before, but we are not sure what Shinran Shonin was doing after he went back to Kyoto from Kanto region after around 60 to 63 years old. But in one of his writings titled Saiho Shinansho, he gathered stories around his teacher Honen Shonin, and at the end he said something like, I have to ask about this in detail and write it down. And it is signed as Shinran, 84 years old. So, he was probably always going out to interview people, or people came to visit Shinran Shonin to talk about teachings and memories of Honen Shonin or something. And he was always studying and writing something. So he had full schedule of the day even after he was over 80 years old. Isn't it amazing, right? I wake up around 5, then I get up around 6 maybe. So I spend an hour in the bed, but I get up around 6, then I prepare myself and I take my daughter to school and then come back, work for a day, and I pick up my daughter at school and come back, and that's my schedule. I feel like, I'm busy, but compared to Shinran Shonin, I'm nothing. My schedule is really flexible. So compared to Shinran Shonin, I think I'm not really busy. But learning something until at the elderly, I think that's important attitude we have to follow. This is the attitude we should learn from our great teacher, Shinran Shonin. And I think it was Kobata sensei who wrote in Wheel of Dharma, which is National BCA's newsletter. And he wrote an article regarding Shinjin, entrusting heart. And it was January 2021. And Kobata sensei used the explanation of the word Shodan from the martial arts, Shodan. And Shodan is a rank of receiving black belt in Japanese martial arts. But, as Kobata sensei pointed out in his article, Sho means beginning, and Dan is rank or degree. So receiving black belt is not the end of the journey as martial artist or mastering the art. Actually, black belt is the rank presented to those who have learned the basic techniques and they are able to practice them by themselves. And there are more to learn and to brush up the techniques. So, there are ranks above Shodan, like second degree is Nidan, third degree Sandan, and I believe Reverend Ryuta Furumoto of Senshin Buddhist Temple in LA, he has like second degree black belt in karate. Reverend Dean Koyama of Palo Alto Buddhist Temple, he has like 5th degree black belt in Aikido. And Reverend Ken Yamada, he used to be the minister of Berkeley Higashi Hongwanji, but I think now he works for Buddhist Center. He has 4th degree black belt in karate. I think he was testing for 5th degree like 3 years ago, so maybe he now have like a 5th degree black belt. But those who passed the Shodan, the 1st degree belt test, they still practice and learn more and more, right? So this is the same for our lives. There is no end to learning. There is no end to learning. Just like Shinran Shonin kept learning, I would like to follow the attitude of Shinran Shonin, keep learning until the end of my life. So today's words I shared at the beginning of my talk is from a chapter on Shinjin of Jodo Shinshu. And Shinjin, entrusting heart, is the wisdom of Amida Buddha. And through the working of Amida Buddha, we are able to attain Buddhahood when our lives comes to an end. And because it is the working of Amida Buddha which enable us to attain Buddhahood, the teaching of Shinjin, entrusting heart, does not choose people by abilities, ages, gender, the length of practice, and so on. And this relates to the episode of Amidaman I shared at the Dharma school talk. Everybody is different, and that's good. Our physical, mental, and experiential differences is not the matter. It's solely the working of Amida Buddha which grasps us and never abandons us. And when we are grasped by the light of Amida Buddha, we begin to self-reflect our self-centered wisdom. And we often use our self-centered wisdom to judge people and things. But the person of Shinjin, or entrusting heart, begin to realize the danger or risk of relying on the self-centered wisdom. So in this sense, we often say that we are saved by Amida Buddha, or some people say that salvation of Amida Buddha. But I have shared these words of one of my favorite senseis of all time, Kakehashi Sensei, many times. So the regular attendees of the services probably remember this. But Kakehashi Sensei said in one of his talks, salvation of Tathagata is not to forget and compensate what we have done. It is to give us right wisdom to recognize our faults as faults and give us courage and capacity to take responsibility for what we have done. It is to turn our self-centered idea to feel sympathy for others' pain, karuna in Sanskrit, compassion, and to wish for people's happiness, maitori, or friendship. It is to cultivate our mind to be able to know the importance of these minds. So this is one of the favorite words of Kakehashi Sensei. And even if we received Shinjin, entrusting heart, our blind passions never disappears within us. Just like receiving black belt does not mean the end of journey of the art. We have to keep living with our blind passions. But through the working of the wisdom of Amida Buddha, when we receive Shinjin, entrusting heart, blind passions no longer be obstacle for our attainment of Buddhahood. So that is it is like the medicine that eradicates all poison. The medicine of the Tathagata's vow destroys the poison of our wisdom and foolishness in today's Shinran Shonin's words means. And blind passions no longer be obstacle for our attainment of Buddhahood does not mean that's okay to act with blind passions, such as greed, anger, and ignorance. We keep self-reflect our own action through the wisdom of Buddha and nurture the mind of friendship and compassion guided by the wisdom of Buddha. So, there are changes over time, such as the use of the words and so on. And what I think is that people don't need to force people to change one's ideas. But, as I said, respect is to listen to each other's opinion carefully. We have to listen to each other's opinion. But personally, I would like to follow the attitude of our founder, Shinran Shonin, have the mind of keep learning and be open-minded and flexible. Just like Shinran Shonin started to use the newer translation after his 80s, right? So we gathered here today to observe a Gotanye, celebration of birthday of Shinran Shonin. And I am sure that Shinran Shonin is happy to see many people gather here in the hall of Amida Buddha to listen to the teaching of Nembutsuge together. And happy birthday, Shinran Shonin again. And I would like to conclude my talk with Gassho and Nembutsu. So please join me in Gassho. Please put your palms together. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Nam.